Hi friends, I'm Abby and welcome back to my channel. Today we are filming my September TBR. Very exciting TBR because it is Bookoplathon TBR. So this is my second year doing the September round of the monthly Bookoplathon, which is hosted by Becca and the Books. So I will link her channel and her announcement video down below if you want to look into it a bit more, look into the rules, look into what this all is. This is Becca's monthly TBR game that she plays, and in September we all get to join her and play along with her, and it's based on Monopoly. So I'm doing 5 rolls, but if I get doubles then I have to roll more. So starting off with 5 rolls. For my chance cards, I have put books that have been on previous TBRs that I have failed to read, so that's what's in there. And community shelf are just like some random prompts. And we are just going to go around the board and see what happens and see if this game likes me or not. Because I've played some games, actually I think most games that I've played haven't really liked me, but we will see how Bookoplathon does. Roll number 1. Oh, it's a double. It's a double on my first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Dice roll. Roulette. Okay, so I'll roll the dice and whatever number I get accounts to a certain number of pages. Okay. 7. So for roll number 1, we got dice roll roulette. Okay, so this is one where you roll again, you roll a number and then that number like matches up with a certain page bracket. So 7. So 7 equals between 324 and 375 pages. So, oh, helicopter coming overhead. So a bit on the shorter end of things. I do have a book that fits this though. I don't have many because I realised that a lot of the books that I own are quite long and chunky, and that I actually don't have that many books that are in the 300 page mark. But I do have Shipped by Angie Hockman. This is a romance following 2 people that work at the same travel agency, and they're both vying for the same promotion, and to get the promotion they are sent on going on a product trip to visit one of the cruises that they work on, and then they're meant to come up with a proposal for how best to sell it, which is really quite similar to my job, except I don't work on the cruise product. But in terms of some of the things that they do, although I'm not in marketing, but like some of it is very, very similar to my job. Okay, the only similarity is that I work in travel, and I do get to travel and experience the products that we work on. So and I don't actually have any romantic interests at work because I have a lovely boyfriend who is very much not in the travel industry. Anyway, I started this back in July, and it wasn't quite like working for me. I don't know if I was quite in the right headspace for it at the time. I don't know what my headspace was in, but anyway, I wasn't quite vibing with it, but I do want to finish it, see what happens. So I don't know if I'm going to restart from the beginning or restart from where I got to, but it does fit exactly within that page count, as it is 329 pages, so just fitting in. But I figure who knows how mean this game is going to be. I should probably put something small and light on the TBR, that I don't want to overload it with long epic fantasy books, because who knows where this game is going to go. Okay, roll number 2. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Favourite trope. Okay, that one's a bit... So for roll number 2, we got favourite trope. And I figured this one's quite like broad, quite open. I can probably fit like whatever I really want into it, like anything. I could force fit anything into favourite trope, really, unless you're talking about like the miscommunication trope, because I really cannot force that in there. But like I can fit in a lot of tropes into this. It's quite broad. So what I've gone for is Babel by R.F. Kuang, because it has a school setting. And I like a school setting. I mean, I guess it's a college, university setting, but that setting, can I call a school setting a trope? I think I can call it a trope. Anyway, that sort of trope and the scenarios that creates is going to be my favourite trope. This is a very popular hyped new release that is coming out. My copy has not yet arrived. I've got the Fairy Loot one coming, but I think it's been delayed until the beginning of September. Hopefully that will arrive in time for this. I mean, it's going to arrive at some point in September, hopefully, so I can read that and it will fulfill my favourite trope. And I think I'm going to buddy read this with Stephanie from Stephanie's Bookverse, so hopefully we both love it. Hopefully it lives up. This is a standalone. I actually haven't really looked too much into the synopsis, but like set in Oxford in the 1800s, I believe. We shall see what happens. We shall see. I've only heard rave reviews, which makes me a bit nervous, but I'm scared that I'm going to be the one person that doesn't like it. But I really hope that's not the case. Roll number 3. You've got to be kidding me. It's another double. This game has chosen violence. Okay, so now we're on 7 rolls total, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Colour wheel. The third one that we landed on was colour wheel. So I'm going to put some colours on a wheel and we will spin it and we will see what it gives me. I am just going to pause because my colour wheel is on my phone and that's what I film on. So I'm going to go spin the colour wheel. I will insert it in here. Okay, purple. So I pulled some purple books off my TBR. So I've had a look at what I own that's purple. And I pulled off a selection of purplish books. So this is what I have that I think fits the purple colour palette. Yeah, so these are the different purples that I have. I did notice that like literally all of my Hayes Persephone books all have purple on them, which I think is quite an interesting thing, that obviously they, like, is that a colour to signify Hayes and Persephone, that they all have purple on them? And then Legendborn, Peace and Turmoil, and A River Enchanted also all have purple on them. So part of me's thinking that I've already gone and got 2 doubles already, that I wanted to do 5 rolls. I've already gone and got 7. This game is choosing violence. This game really is choosing violence here. So I think I shouldn't try and jinx it. I shouldn't be picking something big and long and chunky for like, I should be thinking strategically that I haven't had a great reading month in August, and I don't know what my mood is going to be like going into September. I don't know if this sort of slumpy brain can't really focus on reading because of outside factors is going to continue into September. So I think I should be strategic. And I think I'm going to go for Lore Olympus. I mean, it's more blue and pink than purple, but there's definitely like purple on here. Like the mergings of blue and pinks is a purple. And like this is definitely purple. There's definitely purple on here. I've heard rave reviews about this. And honestly, like my friend Vish loves this. The 2nd volume has just come out. I don't know like how much of this is complete. I don't know like where the actual like web comic is up to, because this is Hades Persephone retelling that has been published originally as a webcomic but is now being bound up in print, and I don't quite know like where the story is up to, like how much of it is complete, how like is it close to being complete, is it, I don't know. But anyway, we will start this, and I figured this will be quite easy. I should be able to fly through this because it is a graphic novel, and so hopefully it's easy. And right now I probably need that based on already knowing that I'm going to have at least 7 rolls. So there we go. And I think Babel's quite long as well. So I've already got 1 long book on here. I don't need like too many more long books. Okay, no more doubles. No more doubles. Roll number 4. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Features death. Okay, I'm sure I can make that work. I've got a 5, which landed us on features death. Features death. I mean, it feels a little bit like spoilery, but I'm assuming this one is going to have death in it. I made some assumptions because based on what I know of this book, and I did actually start this one, but I feel as though I blanked it all from my memory. But I'm going to be rereading and actually finishing, because I never finished Shadows of Self. You can see I got like a majority of the way through and I never finished it. Shame on me. So I am currently rereading and working my way through the series in preparation for the 4th book coming out in November. So I've been doing 1 book a month. So I read Alloy of Law in August. Now in September it's time for Shadows of Self. It does say massacre on the back of this. So I assume by the term massacre that there's going to be some death in this. You are following 2 people, Max and Wayne, who investigate cases. Prior to the start of the series, they worked out in the Roughs, which is like the area outside of the city, and then in the first bit they moved back into the city and they start investigating cases Okay, so within the city. So I figure that's going to be the same sort of things going to be happening here. They're going to be investigating a case within the city itself. And this is the second era of Mistborn, so following the same magic system as Mistborn, but with a more Western style setting. And so I assume there's going to be some deaths in here, whether they've already happened or not, potentially, but this is where we're going to go. So another thankfully quite short one, so I'm doing quite well with not overloading this. I've learned from my mistake, because I remember when I did TBR Star Hop and I put loads of chunky books on right at the beginning, and then the game just kept on giving and kept on going, and I don't want that to happen. So we are like stockpiling the short ones right now. Roll number 5. 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Randomize your TBR. Okay, what fun I'm gonna have. Okay, for roll number 5, which should have been the end, but it isn't, I landed on Randomize Your TBR. So another one that's pretty much up to chance. I feel like I've had quite a few where I haven't been able to pick, like everything's been up to chance, like the number of pages, the colour wheel, the randomised TBR, everything's just been like up in the air for me. Like I haven't really had to make many choices, and that's a bit like daunting that I'm not really choosing what's happening. It's just being thrown at me. So randomise the TBR. What I have done, instead of randomising like every book on my TBR, because I don't have all of them listed, and I don't really want to like randomise Goodreads because there are probably things on there that I put on there in like 2014, and that would just be a little bit chaotic. I have decided to put all of my, well, not all of them, I've put a good chunk of my ongoing series onto a spinner wheel and spin that, and I will see which series I continue on with. And I figure that way I have some sort of control over it, because I am controlling what it's going to be picking from, and it's picking from my ongoing series. So there's about 10 odd series on there, and we will just spin the wheel. Right, where is it? Here it is. Right, so maybe it's been a really, really good thing that I have been like stockpiling the short books by putting things like Shipped and Shadows of Self and Lore Olympus on this TBR, because this game is choosing violence. It's giving me more rolls than I wanted, and it's giving me the chunkiest book on my TBR. Fortunately, I do really want to read this, and I have been putting it off, so hopefully this is the incentive I need to actually read this. Maybe I'll read it, like, maybe it'll be the last book that I read in the month, because then it doesn't matter if it like keeps going into the next month. But here we go. Here we go. The game has chosen Oathbringer. This has been on a few TBRs. It definitely has. But this time, we will read it. We'll read it, we will vlog it, we will see what happens. Hopefully it will happen. I really hope it will happen. I hope that I can leave my reading slump here in August and bring just good energy into September and a reading mojo in September. So Oathbringer, the randomised TBR, has picked this one to go on here. Roll number 6. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Chance. Oh, jeez. Gleam. Okay, Gleam by Raven Kennedy. Okay, roll number 6. Roll number 6, we ended up on Chance. And as I explained at the beginning, the Chance cards that I created were for books that have been on TBRs that I have failed to get to. So, yeah, things like Blood and Honey, The Firekeeper's Daughter, The Blade Itself, The Return of the King, Speaking Bones, Oathbringer. Books that I have wanted to get to, they've been on TBRs during the past year and I just haven't got to them yet. And the one that it chose for me was Gleam by Raven Kennedy, the third book in the Plated Prisoner series. Where have I put this? Gleam, here it is. This one is also quite chunky. This one's getting into the 600 pages, so it's quite long, but from reading the past few books, I've generally found this series to be quite fast-paced, quite easy to read, quite quick and engaging. So hopefully, although it's longer, hopefully I'm going to fly through this. I mean, it's got wide margins, it's got a large font, so hopefully that should be okay, and hopefully I'll be addicted to it and I'll just want to keep reading it. I guess it's positive. I'm continuing a series, although I think quite a few of them were continuations in the series anyway in that chance card pile, but this is a King Midas retelling following our main character Oren, and at the beginning of the book she is pretty much his prisoner, and she lives in like a gold cage within his kingdom, and then things have very much changed now from where we're at, that it's a lot of it is about her seeking her identity and finding her position in this quite dark world that's very much ruled by men and her place in it. And I'm intrigued to see where this is going. I really hope that this one like really like kickstarts things. Like I feel as though the end of the second book, I really liked where that ended, so I'd definitely be interested to see where this one goes. And my 7th and hopefully final roll, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pole pick. We landed on pole pick. So once again, things are out of my control, out of my hands. This game has really chosen violence. It's chosen to just not let me have any control over this TBR. It's just wanted to just take every choice out of my hands. Maybe that's good for me. Maybe I had too much choice in my hands and I had to just let it go. And maybe this is going to help me read. Maybe that's why I've not read very much in August. I don't know. But anyway, the choices have been up to you. I have put a poll up on Instagram. The books that I chose for the poll are books that I had in my 10 series to start in 2022 that I have not yet started. So that's how I chose the books. I didn't quite know what to choose for my poll pick. And then I thought, actually, this could be quite a good idea so that I'm actually reading the books off of my 10 series to start in 2022. So I have The Winter King by Bernard Cornwell, The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie, The Ninth Reign by Jen Williams, and Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb. So all of these were on that video. I think there might have been a couple of others that I actually haven't started that were from that video, but I thought 4 was enough to choose from. And as of filming this, you've had 4 hours or so with that poll. The Ninth Reign is currently winning, so tentatively I will put The Ninth Reign on here. I guess depending on the end result, that might change. I know Ship of Magic is looking really, really close right now to beating The Ninth Reign. That it's very, very tight. Actually, between all 3 of these, it's quite tight. I'm very sorry, Winter King, you don't seem to be in the running at all. But between all 3 of these, it's been quite tight. But currently, The Ninth Reign is winning, and The Ninth Reign is what is currently going on my TBR. I'm actually really excited to read this one. I feel like I'm going to really like it, and I feel like I am actually going to want to binge the whole trilogy. I feel like this is going to be for me. I know that this is a genre-bending fantasy. I think it's got some sci-fi, maybe some horror elements. I think there's vampiric type creatures in it. There's a witch that is a main character, and we're following this group of people as they face down monsters and retrieve artifacts, and an empire that is collapsing, and an adventure that they are all going on. I feel like it's going to be for me. I feel like I'm going to like it. So, and again, I've heard lots of rave reviews for this. So there we go. That's where the game ends. Thankfully, I think 7 is enough. I don't think I need any more than 7 on a TBR, especially with how August has gone. Sorry, August. I'm sorry, August. You've been such a flop. I had all these grand plans, and I've done some of them, but I definitely have not done all of them. So boo for August. Hopefully we are just on the rise and on the up from here, but let me gather the 7 books that have been added to my TBR. Okay, I'm quite glad I did some stockpiling at the beginning of the game and put some short books on here, because I think I'm going to need those short books based on what this is looking like. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's the 7th book? Babel. Oh, I forgot Babel. I was like, where's the 7th one? So this is what I currently own that is currently going on the TBR. Yeah, I'm glad I stockpiled the shorter ones. So we have shipped for my dice roll roulette, so 326 or 300, between 325 and 374 pages or whatever it was. We have Shadows of Self in for Features Death. We have Gleam for my chance card pick. We have The Ninth Reign for poll pick. We have Oathbringer for series Randomize Your TBR, and we have Lore Olympus for the colour wheel, which was purple, and we also have Babel, which I don't currently own, which is in for favourite trope. So quite chunky, actually. This is looking very, very chunky. I'm going to like count up how many pages this is going to be. I might just go away, count them up, and I will see if I think this is going to be possible or not. Okay, so I've calculated it all up, and all those 7 books added together comes to 4,083 pages. So I've definitely read 4,083 pages before in a month. I think it's been a little while since I've read 4,083 pages, but it's not like not doable. It's possible. It's definitely possible. I've definitely done that amount of pages in a month before. It's within my ballpark. It's within my range of pages that I can read in a month. So we shall see. hopefully I come out swinging, and hopefully I'll have a great reading month. There we go. So that is definitely possible, and I think I've got some variety here because we've got a graphic novel, we've got like a big epic fantasy. This one is genre bending, I think, so it's got fantasy but other elements, fantasy romance, again a fantasy but like a Western sort of modernized fantasy, a romance, and Babel, which is again a fantasy but I think like fantasy historical. So we've got like some variety on here. It's just seeing how we do. So there is a tentative TBR, and I'm also quite happy that it does continue in some series. It doesn't finish anything off, but it does continue in 3 series. So positives there as well. So there is my TBR for Becca's Bookoplathon. I think the game chose some violence, but I tried to combat it with some good choices, or lack of choices, because it just didn't give me any choices. But we've got some chances. We've got some chance there to maybe complete this. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to this month. I love this game. I love watching Becca do it. I don't know if I love what the game chose to give to me, but we made it work. So there we go. Let me know if you are participating in Becca's Bookoplathon, if you are going to be along for the ride and see how it goes, and if you've read any of these books and if you have any opinions on them. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my future videos. Bye!